Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech. We're starting here in the bay today because I made some changes. First of all, somebody pointed out that it's not a great idea on the Shadowhawk to store the missile ammo in the center torso. The center torso gets hit all the time, and if you have missiles in the center torso gets hit, the missiles can cook off, explode, and possibly core your mech right then and there. So I moved those to the side. That'll be done real quick. And then I'm refitting the Centurion a little bit to specialize it a little bit more. I took off the medium lasers and I equipped it with some more long-range weaponry. The large lasers out. The plus accuracy PPC is in. Some more long-range missiles. It's a big, slow mech. It's not really that good at getting into medium range, so I figured let's just make it a long-range thing. And I still don't really know what I want to do with that AC-20. I think the answer is we need something bigger to mount it on. So hopefully we can get together one of these like 65. I don't even have any 65s building, but you know, a 60, something in the heavy class is what I'm thinking. So with that, let's go find a job that gets us some salvage, shall we? This is the store, and there are no mechs in the store. Okay, yeah, I need contracts. You know what? We should stop in and talk to Samir. We haven't actually really spent any time with her, and she's been with us since the beginning here. What do you think of the Argo? You gonna be able to fly this beast? It's a little late, I guess, to be asking this question now. She's kind of shown that she's up to it. Well, she's different. Piloting her won't be a problem, but I can't say I'm happy about living on a piece of lost tech. Too many question marks for my taste. That said, I get the necessity. The Leopard is just too damn small. Anyway, as long as we're able to restrain ourselves from pushing any mysterious buttons, we should be okay. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. And life aboard the Argo should continue to improve as Dr. Murad brings new sections of the ship online, so we've got that to look forward to. Yeah, the ship has potential, I'll give her that. Yeah, and I can't wait to see how she develops over time. Personally, I'm rooting for a day spa, but I'm easy. I'll take what I can get. I said spa in a very strange way there. I'm a little, by the way, just before we really get into things here, I'm a little worried about my voice. It is full swing allergy season now here in Michigan. We had our week of spring, and now it's summer. And, man, my allergies are going crazy. I'm on some stuff. I think I sound okay. I woke up this morning, and my left eye is all swollen. Like, it feels fine, and my vision's not affected, but it's all swollen up. It looks like I got punched in the face. I mean, maybe I did. I guess Elise could have punched me in the face while I was sleeping. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past her. You keep an eye on that one. My right eye, though, because the left eye, as I mentioned, not so good. I've got some questions about navigation. Sure, ask away. I mean, it's kind of important that you understand what you're doing, so if I can help with that, I'm all for it. So I know how to get to system from system to system. But I was kind of hoping that there would be maybe some information here. Let's click on the star map tutorial. We know how to work the star map, obviously, but I'm hoping there'll be some information here about like where we can expect good payments and how the difficulty scales in areas and stuff. Yeah, that bothered me too before I joined the Academy. Turns out that in real life, space travel isn't like what you see in the adventure holovids that Darius makes us watch. For starters, some stars are more massive than others. In the case of a really big star, you have to range pretty far afield to find a location suitable for a KF jump. And for us, that means a whole lot of molasses-slow sublight travel before we can even dock with a jump ship, let alone ride it anywhere. Jump ship charging times are the other half of the travel time equation. A jump ship's KF drive will take a few days to recharge after each jump, so if your destination is a few jumps away, well, you can see where I'm going with this. And that's the long and the short of it. Anytime we want to go from one system to another, we're talking about weeks of sublight travel, coupled with a healthy dose of hurry up and wait. Exactly how much determines how long the trip is going to take. Alright, that wasn't that helpful. Thanks, that's good. So I'm collecting stories about the crew. Tell me something about yourself. People with extensive facial scarring usually love to be asked about their past. Well, I'm from a noble family like you. We're old money, made our fortune out in Rasselhague, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordat. That's where I grew up. Have I read this yet? A minor interstellar state conquered 700 years ago by the Draconis Combine, now officially known as the Rasselhague Military District. Yeah, I recognize the name. It's not a lot of information here. I remember thinking that it was weird that was in in an Asian-themed area, because the name doesn't strike me as very Asian. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you're hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Here. Your family came from this place that I'm probably pronouncing right, maybe? It was a long time ago, but yeah. As my parents told it, we were landowners on Pomme de Terre. It's an agricultural world, sort of the breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. Strange thing to name a world. And yes, I know that Pomme de Terre means potato. My ancestors came from the planet Potato. It took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. You know, it's in French though, it does sound a little fancier. Anyway, moving on. House Meyer's holdings were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. For minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then, the Third Succession War broke out, and the political rhetoric got ugly. House Meyer didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. As a rule, House Kurita takes a really dim view of nobles who cut and run. Words like traitor and defector start getting thrown around. In the Combine, you really don't want to be on the receiving end of allegations like that. I wouldn't be standing here today if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors asylum in the Concordat. In all likelihood, House Meyer would have been wiped out before I was even born. Okay, where'd you learn to pilot a Leopard? The Taurian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg. Well, among other places. It's a big campus. The low-gravity training station orbiting Lompoc was my second home for a while. TNI flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had good credit back then, and they could name-drop Protector Calderon. That'll get you pretty far in the Concordat. For a while, anyway. The other cadets in my class weren't especially happy sharing air with a civvy, but they couldn't say much. I was nobility and they weren't. Everyone sort of kept me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. Hey, there you go, that's looking on the bright side. I got my certification in both dropship and jumpship operation in 4 years. I even tried working on a commercial jump crew for a while, once upon a time. The people were fun, but it wasn't for me. The ratio of flying to violent jump sickness skewed hard in the wrong direction. Alright, let's get a little bit more family stuff, and then we can get to some missions for today. You're looking at it. My parents are both gone, blood cancer and heart disease, respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Hey, I'm familiar with that story. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve in the Third Succession War and never came back. That's a series of rough breaks. It is what it is. To be perfectly honest, I was never really all that close to any of them. David was 13 years older than me and had a foot out the door before I turned 3. And my parents, well, they raised me by proxy, in the traditional noble fashion. There was no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people, and they weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringings had been outsourced just like mine was. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about my family. They're gone, I'm here. The end. So, you got another question, or should we get back to our duties? No, that's good. Thanks, Sumiri. See, this is good. I feel a lot more comfortable with these people, knowing a little something about them. Given that, we're constantly putting our life in their hands. Alright, let's get paid. What do you got for me, Darius? This raiding party nonsense. I mean... We're looking at 2-skull difficulty, so we might see some interesting mechs here. Detect an inbound dropship belonging to the Capellan Confederation. Capellan, probably. I do that every time. Our local defense forces in the expected drop area are ill-equipped to handle a lance of mechs, but with your aid we can ensure that the raid does minimal damage. Yeah, alright. No travel, this will be pretty easy. Do I want to wait until the Shadowhawk's done? I think we have a functional team, right? Like Blackjack, Jenner, Jaeger-Mech, and Trebuchet, maybe? We could bring the Vindicator. Boy, this Vindicator is strangely outfitted. A small laser and a PPC, and... Alright, we gotta do some work on this thing. But yeah, these 4 should be a reasonable team. I think we can take this. I wouldn't send a dropship if they didn't mean business. If we take this job, we should stay alert down there. I think we can do this. So... Again, we're working hard to try to put together a good mech, but We only need 3 pieces of priority salvage if we're going to... Actually, if we're going to try to put together a brand new mech. So maybe I'd be better off staying down at, like, the lowest value where we get 2. We have lots of pieces of things, although we don't have any pieces of really big things. And we're still pretty solid on funds. Yeah, you know what? Let's go 314. I just need pieces of new torsos, basically. So, Glitch should probably run the Trebuchet. It's a very long-range focused mech. It's got a little bit of medium laser stuff going on. This is also kind of not specialized. It could be maybe be a little bit more cleverly put together. But I think this should be a squad that is capable of getting stuff done. And I'm really not certain that I spent our XP. I probably did. We're probably all the way committed. We'll just make sure to do it after this mission, and then it'll be done no matter what. So there's a lot of weights above the ones that we're currently running. I guess masses, maybe, is a better way to put it. There's a lot more metal we could be fielding out here. We need to find ourselves like a good assault class mech. I'd like to be running some really heavy stuff. Not that I want to, cut out the Jenner or anything. I like having something that's quick. I don't necessarily need it to be light. I just need quick things, but I also would like to be running something that's a little bit more like a fortress. A fortress with legs and missiles. So many missiles. Yeah, when the Centurion comes out of the bay, I think it's boasting now an LRM-20 and an LRM-15 and maybe a 10 too. I put a lot of missiles into it. And also the PPC. So it should be a very, very effective long-range combatant. And the PPC is actually totally effective up to a pretty close range. So it shouldn't, it's not like it'll be useless if something gets up on it. I'm excited to put that in play. I'm also really excited to try that AC-20, because it seems like a silly amount of damage. Alright, the enemy dropship landed somewhere in this area. Acquire the location and engage. We can do that.
Yeah.
So who's in front? It's Bell, right? Bell is our pseudo Shadowhawk for the moment. And we'll get up here and try to take the high ground.
Heading out.
The Blackjack still has functional jump jets, so
Moving out.
we're pretty far away from the last known position. I don't want to separate the Jenner too much. Here, let's get up here and be behind something at least. Yeah, I don't want to separate the Jenner too much, but I also do want it to be able to wrap around and do flanks, right? That's like the whole point of the thing. Nothing, huh? Well, that's got me a little nervous. So here, let's try to head all the way up here. I don't know what we're looking at right now, but this seems like a fine place to figure out the plan from. So let's see, you're AC-5s and lasers. I'm going to put you a little closer to the cliff edge. I was thinking actual direct line of sight is more important for that mech.
On my way.
Move order received. Hostile on sensors.
Alright, we got 2 readings. Well, I'm assuming it's not just 2. They got something pretty fast. I'm thinking good odds on this being a Jenner.
Ready for orders.
We've seen a couple of them recently. What is the smart play here? Because if this is a Jenner, it's probably not the most dangerous thing in the world. I'm just thinking, like, establishing line of sight. Whatever that is, it's a 2. Man, am I just going to run all the way out into the open, but, you know, have 5 evasive charges and just deal with it that way? It looks like I can't get 5 evasive charges without moving out to a position that gives me an obstructed line of sight. So we could run out here, we could pop Vigilance. But exposing this thing so that we can bombard it, we can start bombarding it, like really have at it. We might be able to really damage it before it gets its action. Alright, I'm going to take a risk here.
Confirm.
What are you? A Thunderbolt. What is that? It is a thing that is coated with lasers. Boy. This is... That's a big mech, man. It's a heavy. Well, I should probably go ahead and engage the Vigilance, because we're going to get hit real hard in the face here, if I can't get something special done. I mean, it does mean losing Inspired, but I think the survival of our Jenner is maybe at risk if we don't do this. And then, yeah, let's take the attack.
Here it comes.
Okay. Caught him in the head. Didn't really do that much damage. And now we have vision, so the longer range mechs like this can get in here and get some shots. The Jenner's like a walking sensor lock, except that it can be blown up. Alright, pretty good hit odds. We'll do some damage.
Tell me what to shoot.
You can see that just like very, very small amounts of damage to many different sections. Okay, I can get a shot on this thing. I think the AC-10 is probably going to be the only thing I can hit it with at this range, but... Oh, it's a spider! Oh, I actually can fire the lasers at it. Is all that heat worth it? I only have 8 ammo in my AC-10. I gotta fix that. That's not great. I'm gonna turn off these lasers. I guess I'll fire this one. Generating a tiny amount of heat isn't that bad. I don't want to have a ton of heat going into the next turn. But I guess this is such that I could do another Alpha Strike right after this without waiting. Yeah, let's go ahead and just go for it. We'll throw everything at it. We don't have to hit this thing that hard to kill it. I can do a significant portion of the work with this attack. Provided that, you know, I hit with more than one weapon, that is. Alright, I'm worried about this Thunderbolt. This thing's pretty scary. Interesting choice. Maybe it did that because I used Vigilance. I was worried it wouldn't do enough damage to the Jenner.
Right here.
Yeah, really weird. I'm not, I'm surprised by that. Alright.
Roger that.
Let's try giving this guy some autocannon. I have slightly better chance, what with it lacking some of those evasive charges. Okay, we got one hit there. That's really a lot worse than I was expecting her to do. So you kind of showed me your back. That's an interesting decision. Now he does not yet have that move and then, or that fire and then move thing. Yeah, alright. So I want to move around. I still want to be in the back arc, but I want to try to generate... I want to generate as many evasive charges as possible while being in the back arc. It looks like I can only get up to 2. I can get up to 3 if I'm willing to really move away. I guess I'm not going to need to flank this spider, probably. And this is still well within range of the SRMs.
Copy that.
Yeah, alright, let's try to do some torso damage here. So we're looking at, in the torso, 3 medium lasers on this side, LRMs and SRMs on this side. He's keeping his LRM ammo in the center body section. I really... I should have looked up your name. I'm sorry. But thank you very much, the person who suggested to keep the UI on during shooting option. Because that's really nice. I really like being able to see the damage so much more clearly. Okay, all structural damage, not a big deal. A lot of it was at the top of the mech, and I was concerned that those were headshots, but seems like we're fine.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, I'm going to move the trebuchet up. We're still going to LRM that thing, but I want to be able to use my medium lasers too here.
You betcha.
Trebuchet's got basically no heat on her, so... Yep, that's the one.
Got it.
Yeah, pretty good. Left torso damage there. Does Bell... Okay, Bell does have jump jets. If I jump up to here, it's going to generate a lot of heat, but I'm going to be able to AC-10 this thing in the face at point-blank range. I don't think we should not do that. I think that's going to be very good for us. Be a little careful with our heat generation here, so let's turn off the not improved medium lasers. Mostly I'm worried about the AC-10. Yeah, firing your auto cannon repeatedly generates recoil. Maybe we should not fire it for this one then? No, let's do it. A coin flip to do 60 damage. Totally worth taking. Missed. Wow, missed with all the weapons. Awesome. Maybe I should have reserved him. Have Panama go first to strip some of the evasion. Oof, structural damage. That leg is injured.
Reporting structural damage.
It didn't look too bad, though.
Yeah. I'm going.
Let's see if we can be rid of this thing, maybe. You get a little bit lucky? Got good odds. This is not the damage side, unfortunately. But we can just do some damage of our own. It's not too hard to get through this thing's armor.
Firing at him.
Okay, yeah, pretty alright. So head hit, pilot injured, knockdown, pilot injured. This pilot's on its last legs.
What do you need?
And this thing is still very soft from behind. We might be able to finish him off here. Wish I could call the shot. But there's some chance that we get the Oh, I'm actually super high on heat though. Yeah, alright, I'll do this. So even if I did hit, we could maybe blow out his right torso. But yeah, we can't. We definitely cannot finish him off with this shot.
Target lock. On enemy.
I think I probably made an error here. Well, his back armor's completely gone. So now he's got to think about that. Yeah, I would back up. You should definitely back up. I think Bell might come in and throw a punch or something. Heat is starting to become an issue for several of us. So our odds of hitting with the LRMs at this range are pretty poor. We do 65 damage in melee. Yeah, you know, the bunch of us could just run up on this thing. It does have machine guns, like... Maybe that's its plan, just to get me to engage in close range. We've disabled most of the long-range weaponry already, but also it's unstable. Yeah, we should...
On my way.
We should throw a punch or two here. I like that. There's a big wind-up with the arm, and then she kind of like kicked him in the knee. No way he could have foreseen it. Oh, and I can't quite get into melee range on this guy. I could stomp on this other dude, though. Yeah, I'm going to reserve here. Hold on. I want to see the effect of Panama's turn before I make a choice with Mitch.
Location
Because if she can just kill this spider, then we obviously go for the stomp. Alright, so let's turn off the lasers. Actually, better off turning off the autocannons at this range. Although I guess the lasers I can't trade the autocannons for the lasers 1-to-1, because obviously the lasers generate way more heat.
Lock in target.
Oh wow, head destroyed. I'll take it. You don't see that every day. That's a pretty small target, yeah. So we're just going to stomp on this dude. Bleed off some heat. It's not a huge amount of damage. Oh, I could probably run right up to him and put that autocannon into him real good, though, huh? Yeah, I should maybe do that. Because he's down. It's about as effective from right here as it would be from up there. And from right here, I'm less likely to get counter-punched. Yeah, let's stay back a little bit. So I'm going to turn off my lasers. Both of them? No, just one. I want to do as much damage as possible here. But I'm thinking... The pilot went down. So we only need to deal probably 2 more pilot damage. I'm wondering if the best thing to do is maybe to focus on the right torso. Like, if we just took out the center torso, we'd probably be able to rebuild. Oh, we could cook off his LRM ammo. Yeah, okay. I was thinking if we just take out the center torso, maybe we'll be able to keep it more intact, get more pieces of it. Because I think we want to put one of these together.
Engaging target.
Let's see if we can cook off his missile ammo. Ah, no such luck. I assume he's going to turn around? No, really. He does not care about exposing his backside. Wow. That was a lot of fire.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Okay. Was my AC-10? It's in the other arm. That arm came off, and the first thing I thought was, oh god. Hit an escape here.
Yeah.
First thing I thought was, oh god, I lost my AC-10. Alright. Do I want to just throw a melee with this guy? Thing is, the SRMs are way more effective, but... Also, knocking him down lets us get those called shots. Throw a punch to the back, deal 35 damage. Or run up behind him and shoot him with the SRM. But just the SRM, probably. Yeah, that still makes more sense. That SRM does way more damage. It's just a really good weapon. And, you know, it does do stability damage as well. Alright, we can fire one of the lasers, too.
Got it.
It's actually kind of impressive that he managed to miss with one of those. One of the missiles went wide. It's crazy. So... probably AC-10 the dude. It's his left side that's soft, right? That's his right. Yeah, and the blackjack just doesn't punch very hard, is my concern. Okay, move enough to get an evasive charge, and then hit him in the right side with the AC-10. Oh, the laser that was destroyed was my My double bonus laser, though. That's a shame.
Good to go.
Alright, Glitch. Glitch has got a pretty easy shot to his backside for probably... Honestly, probably not that much damage, right? If she's up close, she's punching, I think. Well, I think that's it.
Got it.
Oh, no. Almost a knockdown. No, don't let him have a turn. I need a turn. Well, the good news is I think he's just going to keep working Bell, and Bell can't die, so... No, he's trading up. He wants to do as much damage to us as possible, as spread out as possible. You know, Panama, you're going to be fine. Now, she does not have jump jets. So I'm going to move up. She can... Okay, that's... There we go.
Moving.
She couldn't backwalk into the forest over here. The really weird firing arcs. Alright, it's not ideal. He did a good job of putting what is his strongest side toward us. We're going to go ahead and fire here, but she's going to need a turn off pretty soon.
Affirmative.
Heat is becoming a real issue.
Standing by.
Well, we can get the knockdown.
Coordinates received. Putting my weight into it.
Not a lot of damage, but it'll put him on the ground.
Mech destroyed.
Okay, that thing's in some kind of shape.
Mission successful.
We can recover some of that. Pretty bummed out about the loss of my medium laser there. I was really expecting that thing to go down faster. I got a bad habit picked up from a lot of other strategy games where, like, a good flank and a couple of good strikes are all that it takes to put an enemy down. It seems like fights against larger enemies in this game are always going to be incremental. You're rarely going to destroy stuff in a single go, and as such, I need to be more thoughtful about how I place my mechs for counterattacks. Also, our mercenary review board rating is shooting up. I don't know, this isn't actually doing anything for us as far as I'm aware, but it's really going places. Okay, so we have no pilot injuries. A little bit of damage to the trebuchet, but I think nothing that'll take more than a day or two to fix. The other damage is worse. Okay, actually we completely recovered the Thunderbolt. So glad I took the 314. And another ++ laser dropped. It's all crit chance. That's fine. Crits are good. So yeah, none of the rest of this stuff is worth anything, but I'm overjoyed about getting an entire Thunderbolt. So what else did we get? We also got 2 pieces of the spider. We didn't get the cool laser. Okay. Yeah, new mech chassis. I'm excited. Heavy. Good support points. Might be the punch mech we've been looking for. Might be the AC-20 mech. What, it was 65 tons? I think that's the heaviest one we have. The Jaeger mech is also 65, I believe. So tied for the heaviest mech we have. I mean, the fact that it was mounted with support weaponry and machine guns and stuff there doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to use it, but we'll, once we load in here and can see the stats, we'll see. I'm hoping for a mech that moves pretty quickly. I don't need it to necessarily have high initiative, but I want it to have a lot of movement range. Somebody suggested in the comments of the last episode that movement range might be based entirely on the mech's tonnage, and then of course modified by your pilot. So that, like, different mechs in the same weight class will not have different movement, which is a thing we should look at. We should see if that seems to be the case, because that could help us decide what kinds of mechs we need. Lady Arana's contract to liberate House Corrosis is ready for review in the command center. I'll follow up with... Hold on, you. I'll follow up.
That mech is ready to fight, Commander.
Alright. Well armored and heavily armored for its size. It's often deployed as a frontline mech where the fighting is heavy and it needs to give as good as it gets. Yeah, let me have a look at this thing. Well, first let me queue up repairs here. So, I think trebuchet repairs will be pretty cheap and fast. Cool. Let's move that up to the top of the queue. Get that active again. And then the blackjack, we got to refit you real fast. I don't think we're going to change things up too much. I'm just going to replace the arm and put a medium laser in it. So I probably want to increase the number of AC-10 ammo bins. I'm a little nervous about bringing any armor down, though, as you might imagine. Especially if I want this thing to be getting close enough to make optimal use of an AC-10, I really probably don't want to skimp on back armor, because it totally could get hit in the back. It already kind of doesn't have enough heat sinks. Then again, what are the chances that we're going to fire the AC-10 more than 8 times? Yeah, this will be fine for now. Oh, that's not long at all.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
I think I'm going to move that up the queue as well. I think that's more important than the Centurion. Okay. Let's have a look at this new thing. Where's the new thing? Okay, it's already, they already slotted it for me. I'm looking right past it is what happened. So, hold on. Movement, 3 bars. Oh, the other 65 is also showing 3 bars. We have a bunch of stuff in storage. So, like, 55 showing 5 bars, and 5 bars, and 5 bars. Okay, yeah, that looks like that's probably right. But it doesn't scale, like... Everything in the same weight class has the same movement, but it doesn't scale the way I would expect. Like, 55s are pretty fast, while 50s and 65s are both slow. 60s are fairly fast. Obviously, the Spider is really fast. Do things in the same weight class differ in melee ability? Okay, they do. Some of them have more melee. Interesting. So this guy's showing pretty poor movement, above average melee ability, but it's going to be tough with it having below average movement. Okay, these paint patterns are fairly different. I should repaint all our mechs. I'm not going to do that on camera, but next time we may have some stuff repainted. So let's have a look at this thing. I kind of don't like the way it's outfitted. It's like LRM-15 SRM-2 is a weird combination. It has machine guns in all of its support slots already. Machine guns are functional out to about 90 meters. I mean, I guess it's got a good kind of all-around thing going here. I think ideally I would refit this for shorter range if it's going to be all machine guns and like unusually good at punching, but it's going to be hard to actually get it into short range. Maybe we do, right? Maybe we cut the LRMs. What's the tonnage on the LRM-15? 7? It gets me a lot of the way toward this. Maybe cut the LRM, cut the laser. I know the movement's bad, but it can sprint a couple of times at the beginning of battle, then we can get in real close and just AC-20 some dudes. Because I really want to get this working. What if we do that? What if we cut your LRM ammo? That buys us 14 tons, which it turns out is the amount of tons we're allowed to have. Unfortunately, that means I'm mounting an awful lot of stuff on the same side, which is dangerous. A little easier to disrupt this way. And that doesn't give me room for ammo. So like if I wanted to mount some AC-20 ammo in here as well, we have to cut 1 ton of something. We took the large laser off, so we probably don't need all of these heat sinks. You can move one of these medium lasers over to the arm. Weapons that are arm mounted have a higher chance to hit. You can refine the angle of your arm a lot more than the angle of your torso. Then, like, the SRM-2 is a pretty crummy weapon, but I don't know what else we're going to be able to put in here at 2 tons. Yes, I mean, it's a missile hardpoint, right? We could cut this for another medium laser in this side of the torso. Honestly, maybe that's a good idea. I'm just thinking that the SRM-2s are really, really poor damage. And if it's going to take 2 tons, like a medium laser's only 1. And we have a bunch of heat sinks. Medium laser produces 10 heat per shot. Oh, the AC-20 produces a lot of heat. Maybe we should just leave it. Maybe I don't want to be generating any more heat. Yeah, okay. This is what we're going to do with this thing. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I really want to get that AC-20 mounted. Just do something with it. Because it seems really powerful.
Logged and noted.
Okay.
Be too hard.
And we're probably not going to actually run a big contract, but we can do the travel at least. Let's have a look at it. The Liberation of Smithin includes travel, 22 days of travel. Proceed to Smithin, where you will assist the Restoration Army's efforts to liberate House Corrosis. Early reports from field observers suggest a loadout featuring indirect fire capabilities and at least a moderate level of mobility could prove advantageous. Hey, you know, we're actually pretty good at those things. Further details will be provided upon your arrival. So it probably is not the case that we want to run the AC-20 mech on this one. But yeah, I think this is what we want to do next. So 22 days. How are we looking on mech bay work for 22 days? I think we probably don't have 22 days worth of stuff queued up. So all of our refitting and repairs will be done in 17. If we want to make any changes, we have some time to do so. The Vindicator's running a medium laser, a PPC, a small laser, and an LRM-5. This is a weird build. Hold on. Let's have a look at this thing. Let's try to find this thing a job. What happens if I click this button again? Okay. Jump capability, above average heat efficiency. This thing sure does have some heat sinks on it. So the PPC is effective at very, very long ranges, which makes me want to mount a bigger LRM battery. I kind of want to like cut the small laser and give it more LRMs, but upgrading your LRM battery takes a lot of extra weight. LRM-5's at 2 tons. This thing's at 5, and this thing's going to be at, like, 7. So we'd have to cut some heat sinks. This generates 40 heat per turn. Our heat sinks are bleeding 18. I mean, medium laser's a pretty good fallback weapon. It's effective at a lot of ranges. It does reasonable damage. So, like, if I went to the LRM-10, I'd have to free up 3 tons. Are these heat sinks 1 each or half each? Maybe we drop the small laser and 1 jump jet. Small laser's effective out to a very short range, right? Yeah. Cut the LRM-5, replace it with an LRM-10, and then, like, 2 heat sinks out. Although, if we're planning on firing this thing mostly at long range, maybe we don't cut the heat sinks and we instead just strip armor. What's it take to strip 2 tons of armor? Okay, it's a lot, actually. And the thing is, if we can get 2 extra tons off of it reasonably, we could go to LRM-15s instead of 10s. Hold on, let's see if we can do that. Let's see how sensible that is. So I want to be careful with cutting too many heat sinks because the PPC really does generate a lot of heat. So you could probably cut some leg armor. I mean, man, it's a lot of armor to get down. You know what? I'm not... Let's be happy with the 10s. Let's not try to overdo this. I think that's a reasonable upgrade. I don't think that small laser is doing anything for us. Okay.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
And I don't know that I want to make any more changes. So the mech bay can just sit idle for a couple of days at the end of the trip. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. The Jenner's looking good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Jenner's loadout. We could maybe try to get some heat sinks in there. Have a look at it. I definitely don't feel safe taking any armor off of this thing. We don't really use the jump jets a lot, but we could. Those could be useful. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it. I think it's pretty good. It does the job. We're using a lot of laser and autocannon weaponry, or missile and autocannon weaponry now. So, even though it's bad at melee, the stability damage from it being able to get close to people is still important because it can finish pushing unstable mechs over. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Let's peek into the store one more time, just see if anything new popped up after the mission there. Anything worth buying. We're already not mounting all of our PPCs, so that's probably not worth buying. I don't care about plus accuracy on a small laser. I don't really want to run an SRM-4 under almost any circumstances. So yeah, we're good to go. Let's do a little travel, and then we'll call this one right before the actual mission starts, so we can just swing right into it tomorrow.
Bio command.
We might get some events.
Hey boss, we've just
Oh, yeah.
completed those upgrades.
Yeah, I should probably continue running upgrades on the ship. So I mean, we don't really need more mech tech points. We're doing okay on that. Maybe, again, just like preparatory upgrades. Get ready to take other upgrades. Yeah, I think that's fine. Get those power conduits functioning. That sounds really important. I can't believe I told you to do anything else. Now that I think about it, the power conduits are obviously so incredibly important.
I've got the financial report.
Okay, everything's fine. So the question here, do we go a little bit hard on supplies to protect us against a little bit of negative morale? We don't have a lot of money, but Lady Arano pays really well when we do stuff for her directly. I think we can pick up 1 point. Again, this is just about making it so that if we get a single bad morale event, it doesn't make us have to start missions without the inspired thing. We'll probably be alright. This is a little bit of insurance. We're still running pretty lean financially, like we are not banked for very many months here, but partially that's our own, I chose to put us in this position by going so hard on salvage. We can just make more money from the next few jobs, not focus on salvage so much. And I didn't actually look at the payout of the job that we're headed toward, but like I said, Lady Arano has money to spare. She's rich, and she's backed by some rich people. Man, days of cooldown time between jumps. Kind of boggles the mind. I guess we could pause during these jump ship transitions and at least visit the store. I kind of don't want to make any big changes. If I were to pause right now, can we actually... Yeah, we can visit the store right here while we're in the air. We should look in most places. We should stop and look. So flamers, I do still want to try a flamethrower. When we put together that mech that's all about punching, what is this? All mechs come equipped with a stock cockpit configuration which can be upgraded for improved performance. Comm system upgrades allow for better lance cohesion during combat, increasing morale generated. Huh. Oh, items cannot be purchased or sold while in transit. I'd have to stop in the system. So if I don't want to do that, then there's not really a reason to look then. Fair enough. But we should probably look to see if it's worth stopping.
That work order you submitted is complete.
Okay, we got 3 days of travel left. That's fine. Yang, take a break. You've earned it, man.
That work order is complete, boss. Top-notch
Farah
work,
does
if I may
not
say
get a
so.
break. Farah never gets to stop. In the morning meeting, Yang has a complaint. The mech warriors are spending too much time in the mech bay. They're playing card games on the floor and getting in the way. Can't they go somewhere else? Darius says, I can clarify that they are not to obstruct the crew. Sadly, we don't have any dedicated recreation facilities to keep them occupied. The kind of issue is likely to keep occurring. Alright, game. I get it. I hear you. So it would be cool if we were docked at a recreation world here. Not available. This is going to be a morale hit. This is probably just going to mess with Yang. Honestly, I'd rather not take the morale hit. Darius sections off 2 tables at the far end of the mess as a temporary recreation space. The mech warriors cheerfully move their card games, and Yang is glad to get them out of his hair. Okay, hey. All positive. We definitely want to get Farah back to work, though. There's a lot of ship upgrades to get, and apparently this is pretty important. Let's get this done. Shared social space outside the barracks allows the mech warriors to bond as a team. I wasn't that worried about the little plus morale benefit from it, but if it's going to keep being a problem as far as events go, we should probably pick it up. And we did unlock another level of machine shop. Yep, just more mech points, just more tech points. Training modules that give 30 XP per day up to 20,000. That's certainly more interesting. A faster drive. Yeah, alright, well hold on. Let's get the recreation pod up. There are definitely some upgrades that are interesting here. Okay. Back to what we were doing, which is flying. Okay, hold on, Darius. This is where we're going to call it for today. This is very concerned looking, but I think we're in real good shape here. Can I look at the contract before we stop? No, okay. Well, I'm sure it pays well. That's kind of the whole thing, right? So anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. I know the little lights are yellow and flashing. That usually signifies a problem, but nobody worry. We're going to be fine. Come back next time to watch us. You know, we're going to roll around in our Scrooge McDuck vault a little bit. We're going to blow up some robots, and then roll around in our Scrooge McDuck vault a little bit. And we'll see you then.